you want to speak Hindi naturally, you need to know how to say can. Namaste, I'm Hitendra, and in this Hindi lesson, I will explain you how to use can in Hindi. We are going to go in detail overview of how to use it in a sentence, what are the rules behind it, putting it into question forms, adding nouns, time into it. After this video, your can concept will be absolutely clear. So let's start. The first thing we need to know how to use can in Hindi. So we will go over to the rules, and as you can see, here we have the rule, right? So this is just written as formula, and then verb stem plus sakna, right? Okay. So sakna is actually what can means. So verb stem, so whatever the infinitive of the verb is. So for example, if it's to go, which is jana, and I'll be explaining it in the next slide, that plus sakna. Now sakna, be it in present tense, past tense or future tense, and we'll be doing that. And here you can just see that in Hindi verb means kriya, and then sakna as sakna. So as you can see, we have some common verb stems, right? So we have, the first one is to go. To go in Hindi is actually jana, right? Okay. And so you always will be removing the na from the infinitive of the verb. So if it's jana, it will become ja, right? You see it in all the verbs here. Khana becomes kha, right? Bolna becomes bol. Karna becomes kar. Pina becomes pi, right? So again, to eat is khana, that will become kha. To speak is bolna, and that will become bol. To do is karna, and that will become kar. To drink is pina, and that will become pi. Now, what happens in our Hindi and like in the English here, as you can see from jana, it just becomes ja, kha, bol, kar, pi, right? So if you have learned any Hindi, you would know that in Hindi, infinitive of any verb always have na. Without na, it's almost impossible to conjugate something in Hindi. Okay, so that's the first point, right? So whenever you have any sort of infinitive of the verb, you just remove the na from it. Okay, so then if you remember, the rule that we just did before was verb stem plus sakna, right? So now you'll be seeing that how do we use them when we are kind of making sentences, right? So the next thing we have here is common verb with stem 2, right? Okay, so now some other verbs that we have here, and it's exactly the same. So for example, to write is likhna, right? And we will be removing the na, so we have likh. To read is padhna, we'll remove the na, we'll have pad. To understand is samajhna, we'll remove the na and we'll have samajh. To see and to listen is, to see is dekhna, we'll remove the na, we'll have dekh. And to listen is sunna, we'll remove the na and we'll have sun, right? And same thing you can see, like this is just written in Hindi, right? Okay, likhna, padhna, samajhna, dekhna, sunna, likh, pad, samajh, dekh, sun, right? That's it. So what we have a lot of verbs. I try to make a kind of like a lot of verb, so you would have a lot of verbs to kind of practice with, and you would understand what happens when you take out the na from the verb stem. Okay, then the next thing that we have is present tense. The first tense we're going to do is present tense, right? Okay, so now here we have the rule for if it's male, right? The structure, you can remember the structure, and of course when we'll be doing the sentences, I will bring it upon again. So the structure would be ki if it's male, it's subject, verb stem. If you remember, we just did the verb stem, and then sakta, right? So this is what happens in the present tense. Present tense always have ta at the end, right? So you see it here. So sakta, and then of course the helping verb, be it hu, hai, ho, hai. That would change according to what you have, right? Like the pronoun. So that will change, and we will see it. You will see it in the sentences that we are about to do. So, and then for female, same thing. Subject plus verb stem plus sakti. That's the only thing that is changing. Here is sakta and here is sakti. Why? Because a sakta, that is the indicator of something being male. Sakti, the E sound, is the indicator of something being feminine. So that would be for present tense. Now we'll look at some of the sentences in present tense, right? So present tense, you can see present tense is I can, right? Okay. So the first sentence in English, you can see it here. It's in, for M is for masculine. So I can go, right? Now I is मैं. We need go first, right? That is ja. Why is it ja? Because from jana, which is to go, we remove the na and we have ja. So मैं ja. And then because it's present tense, for present tense we use can, which is sakta. मैं जा सकता हूँ. And who is just a helping verb, which actually means am. But when you have present tense, this is what we'll be using as the ending, as the helping verb in the end. So मैं जा सकता हूँ. Now the only thing for feminine is changing is that it becomes मैं जा सकती हूँ. That's the only thing that's changing. मैं जा सकती हूँ. I can eat. मैं खा सकता हूँ. Why? Because खाना, खा comes from खाना. You remove the na, you have खा to eat. I can speak is मैं बोल सकती हूँ. I can do it is मैं कर सकता हूँ. Right? That would be present tense. Now, let's see what we have next. Now, what we just did, that's present tense, but only with the pronoun I. Now we have it with you, he, she, we, right? So first thing we have is you informal and then you formal. So you can go is तुम जा सकते हो, right? So this is again an interesting thing to know is that whenever you are using a personal pronoun, be it I for like masculine or feminine, you would use sakta or sakti, right? But when you use you, we, you, or anything that is plural like we, they, then we'll always add e, but that means a, right? So tum ja sakte ho. Same thing here in Hindi. Tum ja sakte ho. You can go is आप जा सकते हैं. आप जा सकते हैं. Now we have he, and you will see here it will change to masculine one. So he can eat. वो means he. खा सकता है. खा means eat. So वो खा सकता है. He can eat. If it was I can eat, it will just be मैं खा सकता हूँ. Perfect. Then we have she can speak, and that would be कि वो बोल सकती है. वो बोल सकती है. And we can do it. हम कर सकते हैं. Again, you see this e. Why? Because now we literally have something plural. So that's why we have हम कर सकते हैं. Perfect. Okay. I hope it's making sense so far. So now we'll be moving on to the next tense, which is past tense. First thing what we need to do is we need to know the formula. The formula is rule, right? Okay. So same thing. We have subject, we had in present tense as well. We had verb stem that we had in present tense as well. The only thing that has changed, the two things. First, sakna has changed its conjugation for the past tense, right? From present tense, now it has gone to past tense. So, and that would be saka for masculine, saki for feminine. And if you have multiple people, we are. And even if you're saying you or they, that would be sake. From I, a, that would change to the e, which would be sake, right? And then we use tha, thi, the. Why do we use tha, thi, and the? Because that is the helping verb for the past. It literally means was or were, right? So these two, right? They mean was, okay? Right? And the means were. Ooh, my writing. Okay. The means were, right? So again, subject, verb stem plus sakasaki, and then tha, thi, the. Okay. You can even say sakasaki, and I can even write it here. Just let me change the color. Yeah. You can even say sake, right? Okay. And that's it, right? So again, subject plus verb stem plus verb stem plus saka, saki, sake, and then tha, thi, the. Super. Now let's make some sentences. As you can see, for past tense, which literally means could, can's past is could. Now, mostly nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is like the sentence structure that we've already seen. Other than that, everything kind of stays same to the present tense, right? So let's have a look. So, I could go. Masculine. Main, which is I. Ja, which is to go. Jana, you remove the na, you have ja. So main ja, and then saka tha, right? That's the indicator of the past tense. Can, this is could, and then this is was, right? Take it. So I could go, main ja saka tha. Now, same thing. I could go feminine, main ja saki thi, main ja saki thi. He could eat, वो खा सका था. He could eat. वो खा सका था. Right? She could speak. We have done all these verbs actually. We are only doing the verbs that we have used or like we had in the first few slides. So she could speak. वो बोल सकी थी. वो बोल सकी थी. We could do it. हम कर सके थे. हम कर सके थे. Right? Perfect. Okay. So again, not really anything has changed. The only thing is it's very easy. From sakna, if you make it sakta, sakti, sakte, that becomes present tense. If you say saka, saki, sake, as is the case here, that means past tense. Perfect. Now, I think we are doing pretty amazing. We're going super fast. Okay. Now we have future tense, right? Okay. So we need to know what is the formula for future tense first, right? Okay. So let's look at what is the rule and what is the formula. So important that sakta, sakti drops in the future, right? Okay. Meaning that like the same thing, you won't have sakta or sakti or sake or sakka, right? What you would have is you would have the subject, same thing. Verb stem, same thing. Now you have sakunga, sakungi, sakenge, right? So sakta, right? Remember this. So you had sakna, okay? Now what has happened in here is that if this is sakna, for the future tense, we have converted into sak plus will. Right? Why is that? So, because it's a future tense. In order to make something in future tense, you have to add will, right? And what is will in Hindi? Oopsie. So, will in Hindi is unga for masculine, ungi for feminine, and enge for plural or you, right? Now we'll see some sentences. It got a little messy, but we will see some sentences. Okay. So, for future tense, in English, you cannot really make a future tense of can as can, right? Like, so it's very irregular. So for past tense, it becomes could, and then for future tense, it just changes and becomes will be able to, right? There's no like can, like I will can do it, right? You can't really say that in English. So what you really say is, I won't be able to do something, right? That's the future tense of it, okay? Or I will not be able to do something. So same thing, because we know the rules, we don't really need to worry about anything, right? So we have, I will be able to go, right? Jana. So this is so easy. Main, which is I, ja, come again from jana, to go, and then sakunga, right? Sakunga again, sakna plus unga, sakna plus will, sak plus will. That makes the future conjugation for sakna. So main ja sakunga would be I will be able to go. Then we have I will be able to go feminine. मैं जा सकूंगी. मैं जा सकूंगी. Same thing here. मैं जा सकूंगी. Okay. He will be able to eat. वो खा सकेगा. वो is he. Kha is to eat. Sakega is the future tense. Sakna plus ega, which is will, right? So the will kind of changes depending on the pronoun that you are using, right? So वो खा सकेगा. She will be able to come. वो आ सकेगी. वो आ सकेगी. She'll be able to come. Okay. Then the last one we have is we will be able to do it, which is हम कर सकेंगे, right? So we will be able to do it is हम, which is we, and then oopsie, कर, which is to do, and then सकेंगे. We will be able to do it. हम कर सकेंगे. And then the same thing you see in Hindi. हम कर सकेंगे. And this is like that. This is how easy it is to make any kind of tense with sakna. Now, the next thing that we have is we will be adding some time words into it, right? So that was good, but it was a little bit too easy or too beginner friendly, right? But now we need to make it a little bit more complex. Not too complex, but just a little bit more complex. And because we know the sentence structure, it will be very easy to do it. So the next thing we have is time words, right? Okay. So in order to do time words, what we need is we need some times. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, now, later, and next week. And this will be interesting because there is one tricky time frame in Hindi, and I'll be explaining what it is, right? Okay. So today is aaj, right? Tomorrow is kal, right? And on purpose, I have hidden yesterday. So that either you need to, if you know it, go in the comment section and tell me what it is. I will be explaining it, and I will also be telling you what is the kind of the rule behind it. But if you know it, go in the comment section and tell me what yesterday is, because this one is a complex one, not a lot of people know. And then now is abhi, later is baad mein, and the next week is agle hafte, right? Same thing. This is abhi, this is baad mein, and this is agle hafte. Now you need to tell me what is yesterday, right? Okay. So here's the thing. You actually know what yesterday is, okay? You know what yesterday is. You just don't know it that you know that what you know yesterday is. I think that didn't really make sense. But anyway, yesterday is also, drum rolls, kal, right? This could be confusing because we have tomorrow and that is also kal, right? So how would we know that yesterday is also kal? So that sounds very confusing to some people, because you could imagine or you could think that, how would we know if someone is saying yesterday or someone is saying tomorrow? It's very easy. So here's what exercise I like to do with all my students, right? So I'm going to give you a sentence only in English, right? Only in English. The only thing that I'll be saying in Hindi is yesterday or tomorrow, okay? And you will tell me which one I mean. So here's how it goes. Kal I went to the supermarket. Think about it. Kal I went to the supermarket. Now, I hope you guessed that I mean yesterday. Now, how did we know that I'm talking about yesterday? Because I said I went to the supermarket. Went is past tense, right? For went, you cannot say tomorrow I went to the supermarket. That would not make sense, right? You have to put it in the past tense. And that's kind of the trick behind it, right? So when you're saying it, if you're saying went and you're saying kal, you know, like it's kind of everyone knows that it's past tense, it's yesterday. And same thing if I say kal, I will go to the supermarket, right? Same thing. Then you would think that like, what does he mean by that? Of course, it's future tense, right? Because you cannot say yesterday I will go to the supermarket. It has to be tomorrow I will go to the supermarket. And that's how kind of you know if something is yesterday past tense or something is tomorrow which is future tense, right? Okay, so pause this, write this down because we'll be needing them in the future, like in the upcoming slides. So let's go and make some sentences now, okay? So sentences with time, right? Okay, as you can see it here, sentences with time. So The first thing we have is I can come tomorrow, right? I can come tomorrow. And that is, first of all, I, which is मैं, कल is tomorrow, आ सकता हूँ. मैं कल आ सकता हूँ. I can come tomorrow. Okay. She can call tonight. She can call tonight, which is वो आज रात call, because call is call in Hindi, कर सकती है. वो आज रात कॉल कर सकती है. Perfect. Same thing in Hindi. तो वो आज रात कॉल कर सकती है. Okay. Then we have we can meet next week. Oh, that was such a straight line. So we can meet next week is हम, which is we. अगले हफ्ते is next week. मिल सकते हैं. मिलना is to meet. सकते हैं, of course, can, right? So we can meet next week is हम अगले हफ्ते मिल सकते हैं. Perfect. हम अगले हफ्ते मिल सकते हैं. Okay. Then we have I could come yesterday. I could come yesterday. So मैं कल आ सका था. मैं कल आ सका था. I could come yesterday. Okay. Same thing here. मैं कल आ सका था. ठीक है. Then we have he will be able to come tomorrow. Now a future tense sentence. So he will be able to come tomorrow. वो कल आ सकेगा. वो कल आ सकेगा. ठीक है. And that's he'll be able to come tomorrow. Okay. Then the next, now because we've added time, now we are adding nouns into it, right? So we are trying to make this a little bit more complex. So now we have nouns into it. And see, right? So sentences with nouns. Okay. So first thing we have is I can eat this food. I can eat this food. मैं ये खाना खा सकता हूँ. मैं ये खाना खा सकता हूँ. I can eat this food. ठीक है. Food means खाना and it also means to eat, right? Not to be confused because see, खाना which is to eat will always be conjugated, right? So here you can see kha, this one is to eat, right? Because it's a verb, right? So verb always gets conjugated. So you would always know which one is food and which one is to eat, right? So not to be confused here. So मैं ये खाना खा सकता हूँ. Okay. Then we have she can speak Hindi. She can speak Hindi. वो हिंदी बोल सकती है. वो हिंदी बोल सकती है. Right? वो हिंदी बोल सकती है. वो is she, हिंदी बोलना to speak, सकती of course present tense and है. She can speak Hindi. वो हिंदी बोल सकती है. Then the next thing is he can drive a car. वो car, you could say गाड़ी, that means car, right? Okay, so you could also say गाड़ी, which is GADDI. So गाड़ी, right? And that also means car, right? Even though I would say people use them both. Like some people could say that like, oh, car is used more, but I think people use them more. I know a lot of people who say गाड़ी, so it's fine. Okay, so वो गाड़ी चला सकता है. He can drive a car. वो गाड़ी चला सकता है. Okay. Then we have we can go to the market. हम market जा सकते हैं. हम market जा सकते हैं. We can go to the market. Okay. Next thing is he could drink that water. I could drink that water. मैं वो पानी, that water is वो पानी, water is पानी. So मैं वो पानी पी सका था. मैं वो पानी पी सका था. I could drink that water, right? Perfect. So some of them might be a little bit more everyday sentences that you could use in your everyday life when you're talking with people, right? Okay. So the next thing we have is question forms, right? Okay. So now all of that we did those sentences were related to mostly the nominative or like the pronouns, right? Now what we have is we have literally question forms. Like how would you ask a question that is a can question, right? So the rule is kya, right? So this is the question form, right? These go into the indirect question form. So whenever you have kya in the beginning, that's a yes or no question. Those are called indirect question forms. So those are yes or no question. The answer would always be yes or no. For example, if I say to you, क्या आपका नाम हितेंद्र है, राइट? क्या आपका नाम हितेंद्र है? That means is your name Hitendra? And the answer like I could give is of course हाँ, which is yes, or nahi, which is no, right? So questions that are always yes or no, they always have in Hindi kya, right, in the beginning, okay, and they would always be yes and no. And in English they are more like the sentences when you are saying did you eat, are you eating, will you eat, do you eat, would you eat, could you eat, right? So similar to that. And because if a question is a can question, there would be like, can you go to the supermarket? So of course for that reason we'll put kya in the beginning, and then it just follows the same structure that we have been doing so far. So for example, subject, right, and then the verb stem, and then sakta, sakti, sakte. It can be it doesn't really have to be only present tense, it can be past or future as well, right? And then hai, ho, hai, right? Like depending on the what would be the tense of the sentence, depending on that there would be the helping verb, the ending, right? Okay, so let's look at some. So can you questions, right? Okay, so let's see, let's go. So can you help me? Again, a very useful question that you might use. So can you help me in Hindi is क्या आप मेरी मदद कर सकते हैं? क्या आप मेरी मदद कर सकते हैं? क्या आप मेरी मदद कर सकते हैं? As you can see. Then we have can you speak Hindi? Very useful sentence. क्या तुम हिंदी बोल सकते हो? क्या तुम हिंदी बोल सकते हो? Now of course, क्या is the can, right? तुम is you, हिंदी बोल सकते हो, हिंदी हिंदी, बोलना to speak, सकते can, and then हो, right? So क्या आप हिंदी बोल सकते हो? Can you speak Hindi? Can you come tomorrow? क्या तुम कल आ सकते हो? क्या तुम कल आ सकते हो? क्या तुम कल आ सकते हो? Can you understand me? क्या तुम मुझे समझ सकते हो? क्या तुम मुझे समझ सकते हो? क्या तुम मुझे समझ सकते हो? Can you understand me, right? Then we have can you show me the way? क्या आप मुझे रास्ता दिखा सकते हैं? क्या आप मुझे रास्ता दिखा सकते हैं? So क्या again the question form, right? आप is you, मुझे is to me, रास्ता is the way, दिखाना is to show, and then सकते is can, right? And then है, right? क्या आप मुझे रास्ता दिखा सकते हैं? Can you show me the way? Perfect. So these were the cans with question forms, right? Okay. Now we have can I question forms, right? Like those were all the question forms. Can you do something? Now we have can I, right? So the first one is can I sit here, right? Can I sit here? Sit, to sit is baithna. So kya, again see, again if it's a question form, it's starting with can, right? So can I sit here? क्या मैं यहाँ बैठ सकता हूँ? क्या मैं यहाँ बैठ सकता हूँ? Can I eat this? क्या मैं ये खा सकता हूँ? क्या मैं ये खा सकता हूँ? Can I take a photo? क्या मैं फोटो ले सकता हूँ? क्या मैं फोटो ले सकता हूँ? लेना is to take, okay? Can I come inside? क्या मैं अंदर आ सकता हूँ? क्या is can, मैं is I, अंदर is inside, आना we leave the na, we have a, to come, सकता can, हूँ, can I come inside, क्या मैं अंदर आ सकता हूँ, right? Then we have can I pay by card, क्या मैं कार्ड से पे कर सकता हूँ, क्या मैं कार्ड से पे कर सकता हूँ, can I pay by card? Perfect. So see, those were the easy ones, right? The only thing I want you to do is like, this is exercise that I have kind of created for you. So these can I questions, you would see that they all are masculine. Now what I want you to do is I want you to convert them into feminine. So go into the comment section, write the feminine sentences of these questions, right? If you can. Or just any feminine sentence, right? That would also do. I will check it and I will let you know if those were correct or not. Okay, then we have negative questions, right? Okay, so questions that could have like the no or nahi or don't in them, right? So those are the questions that we are talking about. So we have three questions or sentences here. So, can't you come? क्या तुम नहीं आ सकते? क्या तुम नहीं आ सकते? Can't you come? Can't you do this? क्या तुम ये नहीं कर सकते? क्या तुम ये नहीं कर सकते? Can't you do this? Okay? Can't you understand? क्या तुम समझ नहीं सकते? क्या तुम समझ नहीं सकते? Can't you understand this? Okay? Right? So these were the negative question forms with can. Now, everyday sentences that you could use with can are I can cook, right? मैं खाना बना सकता हूँ. I can cook is मैं खाना बना सकता हूँ. If it was a feminine one, it would be मैं खाना बना सकती हूँ. Okay? Next one. I can't sleep. मैं सो नहीं सकता. मैं सो नहीं सकता. I can't sleep. I can't hear you. मैं तुम्हें सुन नहीं सकता. मैं तुम्हें सुन नहीं सकता. I can't hear you. I can try. मैं कोशिश कर सकता हूँ. मैं कोशिश कर सकता हूँ. कोशिश is to try. She can't come today. वो आज नहीं आ सकती. वो आज नहीं आ सकती. She can't come today, right? Okay, so these were some of the everyday sentences that you can use that consist of can, right? And then some travel sentences, right? Like some sentences that you would use when you're traveling, right? So these are the travel sentences with can, okay? So, can you take me to the station? क्या आप मुझे स्टेशन ले जा सकते हैं? क्या आप मुझे स्टेशन ले जा सकते हैं? Can I get a room? क्या मुझे एक रूम मिल सकता है? क्या मुझे एक रूम मिल सकता है? Can you give me a discount? This is a very useful one in India. So, क्या आप डिस्काउंट दे सकते हैं? क्या आप डिस्काउंट दे सकते हैं? Can you speak slowly? क्या आप धीरे बोल सकते हैं? क्या आप धीरे बोल सकते हैं? Can you speak slowly? Can we go by auto? क्या हम ऑटो से जा सकते हैं? क्या हम ऑटो से जा सकते हैं? That is, can we go by auto, right? Now, of course, say in this case is by, right? Okay. Right? So say is by, ja is to go, and then sakte, of course, can, right? Okay. So these were some of the travel sentences that you would need when you're traveling in India. that consist can. Okay, right? Perfect. So all the sentences that we have done, try these sentences in the comment, right? In the comment section. So, and let me know what did you think about them, right? If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I will try to respond as quickly as possible. Again, if you would like, subscribe, it would really help me. And I love making this video, and I hope that I'll be continuing it. For sure, I'll be continuing it. I just need your support for it. Perfect. So if you like this video, just drop a comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.